Welcome back to Magic Muggle, a Harry Potter after show. This is Eric Cicada, your host, aka Mr. Honest, broadcasting from the highest tower in Hogwarts, Ravenclaw Tower to be exact. Today we're slowing down, not because the chapter is small, but because it's dense. We're covering chapter 13 in Goblet of Fire, Mad Eye Moody. One chapter, one episode, and honestly this is a first, and this is one of those chapters that teaches you how to read Goblet of Fire. Because this isn't just an introduction to a new teacher, this is the moment Hogwarts stops pretending. So let's talk about the morning after the storm. The chapter opens quietly. The storm has passed, but the ceiling, it's still gray. Pewter clouds lingering overhead. And that matters because the Goblet of Fire keeps doing this thing where the danger doesn't vanish, it just settles. Schedules are passed around. Fred and George are still scheming about aging themselves up for the Triwizard Tournament. I love Fred and George, and they're always on to trying to beat the system, even though Dumbledore would totally know that they cheated to get in and wouldn't let them compete. However, I don't know. What if they did get in? Maybe they'd let them compete. Maybe later in the book we'll see something similar happen, and the person who's picked just will have to compete. I don't know. Now, Ron complains a bit, just because Hermione's already pivoting to logic and responsibility. Life continues. But Harry, he notices something small, and it hurts. No letter from Sirius. And Rowling doesn't underline it. She doesn't dramatize it. She just lets it sit there. Like a missed heartbeat. As the reader, you're thinking, yeah, he did send that owl out a long time ago. I'm concerned for Hedwig. I miss Hedwig. Where is he? That's how this book works. Unease before catastrophe. Now let's move directly into herbology with controlled disgust. Get these things called bubotubers, which is honestly such a rolling move. Right when Harry is quietly anxious, we're plunged into something visceral. Pus, smells, gloves, discomfort. Just the word pus makes me uncomfortable. Here's why this scene matters. Bubotuber pus. Ugh. But only when handled carefully, undiluted, it burns. Eeh. That is a tough first day. And that's not subtle. Goblet of Fire is about dangerous things being repurposed as tools. There's always meaning behind everything, and if you understand the risk. Sound familiar? And then we get Eloy's Midgen stories, cursing her acne off, nearly losing her nose. Another pattern, shortcuts hurt you in this book every time. Now there's Magical Creatures with Hagrid. What could go wrong with that? But there's blast-ended Scroots. And look, I love Hagrid. We all do. But this is the moment where Hagrid's flaw becomes undeniable. He doesn't know what they eat. He doesn't know what they do. They explode. They sting and they burn. And yet he's proud. Why? Because Hagrid equates danger with worth. He believes that if something is deadly, it must be meaningful. That's not wrong, but it's not always the right way either. This chapter quietly shows us that good intentions, without understanding, still cause harm. Dean gets burned. Lavender is horrified. Hermione, for once, sides with Malfoy on practicality. That should tell you everything. Onward to divination, in this sort of montage of classes on the first day of school back. We talk about false prophecy versus real dread. We climb the tower, divination, perfume, heat, red light, sleepiness. And Professor Trelawney, I always say her name wrong, does what she always does. Predicts Harry's doom with theatrical certainty. But here's the important part. Harry doesn't believe her, except he remembers the one time she was right. And that's the danger of false prophets. When they accidentally touch truth, it poisons everything else. Harry isn't scared because of Saturn. He's scared because Voldemort is real. Goblet of Fire constantly separating performance, fear from earned fear. Two different types of fear. Trelawney represents noise. Moody represents scars. Talk about him in a bit. Now, this article, humiliation, is used as a weapon that Rita Skeeter, so it's the time that she strikes. It's not Voldemort. It's not Death Eaters. It's a newspaper. Arthur Weasley's name is wrong. His job is mocked. Molly is body shamed. I mean, when Malfoy is mean, he could be mean, and then the newspaper on top of that. This isn't just cruelty, it's social violence. And Malfoy doesn't even need magic. The words do enough damage. Ron doesn't explode because of insults. He explodes because his family's dignity is being erased in public. That matters. But then, bang, a spell fires. And before Harry can react, before anyone could draw a wand, Moody is there. Not rushing, not shouting, and just present. And this is where the chapter kind of changes tone permanently. Moody doesn't ask questions first. He assesses threats. I don't like people who attack when their opponent's back is turned. That line, that's not Hogwarts morality. That's war morality. And when it happens, Malfoy becomes a ferret. Not metaphorically, not symbolically. He physically is bouncing, helpless, and humiliated. A bit satisfying, not gonna lie. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Like I said, it feels good. Rowling wants you to laugh. Rolling, not rowling, rolling down the hill. And then question why you laughed in the first place. Because McGonagall is right. This isn't how Hogwarts does punishment. But Moody doesn't teach safety. He teaches consequences, which is technically effective. I think Malfoy needed the reality check, if you ask me. Moody doesn't apologize. He doesn't soften. And he tells Malfoy to tell his father something terrifying. I'm watching your son. That's not a threat. That's a promise. And when Moody says Snape is an old friend to Malfoy, it takes Malfoy's power away completely. The book quietly reminds us that these adults have history we don't understand yet. Goblet of Fire is about legacy colliding with youth. Now, let's talk about why this chapter really matters. This chapter does three huge things. One, it introduces the world of adults who survived violence. Two, it shows Hogwarts rules starting to bend. And three, it reframes justice as messy, emotional, and imperfect. Mad Eye Moody is not here to be liked. He's here to prepare. And that is terrifying. So, in closing, Ron says it best. Draco Malfoy, the amazing bouncing ferret. It is funny. And it also is the last time punishment feels playful. Because from here on out, mistakes cost more. This is the chapter where Goblet of Fire stops being a school story and starts becoming a trial. And that's why it deserved patience. I have a lot of thoughts going on about the book going forward, and I know there's a lot to come. So there will be episodes like this, even if they're shorter, where we break down one chapter at a time. Because I want us to sit with some of these lessons that can be technically overlooked in a binge read. Thank you for listening to Magic Muggle, a Harry Potter after show. If this episode resonated, please rate the show 5 stars and leave a review wherever you're listening. It truly helps more than you know, and it will be featured on the show. Not always, but at this point, yes. Join the Honest First Discord, link in the description, and tag yourself Magic Muggle so you stay in the loop. Until next time, take care, and wands down, hearts full.